Sega Does Podcast, episode 20. 20. We finally made it.
20.
That's pretty
Good.
cool.
Good night.
I am
Yeah.
Sam the Pixel Dude, and joining me as always, virtually to my left, we have Dylan Cornelius. How are we doing, Dylan?
Ooh, we're doing good. We're doing better than Sega today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are doing better than Sega.
Yeah.
So the news broke, when was it? It was early this week, end of last week,
Yeah, I think it was end of last week or
end of
something
last
like
week. Sega, I mean, it hasn't been its old self for, I would say, going on nearly a decade, probably.
that. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
after the GameCube days,
yeah.
they really struggled. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like Sega has finally realised that themselves. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's going on? Sega is restructuring, isn't that right, Dylan?
Yeah, whatever that means. I don't, business terms, restructuring, they're really trying to make themselves profitable like so many other Japanese gaming companies.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, um they're laying off potentially laying off 300 jobs and shifting to mobile and PC gaming. They're going to reposition, quote, their business around that. So, I mean, if that's all they care about, making money, I get it. They're a company, they got to do what they got to do, but
Yeah.
they're not the Sega that we're enjoying right now, I tell you, as they're a far cry from that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, they've had the seeds sown lately a little bit with Nintendo, especially with the Sonic IP, and they've tried numerous times over the last 8, 10 years to get the Alien franchise up and running on a console in some sort of popular fashion. I mean, the latest Alien Isolation was, in my view, a fantastic game, but unfortunately, I don't think it's done quite what they wanted it to. Apparently, it just broke 1 million,
Yeah,
which is
which
really, really sad. Saying, "Oh, it's sold 1 million," but that's not enough nowadays for a AAA game, which is sad.
yeah, it is sad. And but you have to wonder, like, what are expectations?
Mm,
5 million, 6 million. Nobody knows because the companies never release these details unless they
no.
leak out, like with Tomb Raider back in the day, a
Yeah, I
couple
mean, the
years
Tomb
ago.
Raider was like kind of the canary in the coal mine a little bit because it came out and it sold like 6 million copies, and Square Enix was like, "No, that's not enough," and
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Excuse me, what did you want?"
yeah,
It's like, "Well, we wanted like 8, 10 million," and was like, "Why the hell do you need that?" And that was kind of the first flag of, do you know how much games cost to make nowadays?
yeah,
Uh, Good quality, like new IP, not with any basis to build on, games cost a flipping fortune nowadays, which is kind of sad. I mean, the heyday for the mid tier games like the THQs of this world and stuff like that completely got wiped out last generation.
yep,
Sega, unfortunately, I always considered them a triple A game developer, but they did kind of exist in that mid tier for the last 10 years.
yeah. They did. Well, after they didn't have a console to put their stuff on,
Mm,
they started developing for others, PS2, Xbox, GameCube, and GameCube. They were smart though because they re-released a lot of their Dreamcast games with like
yeah,
extra content, and I thought
yeah,
that was really smart on their part.
and they sold as well. I mean, Sonic Adventure
Right.
2, I believe, is still one. It's in the top 10 best-selling GameCube games,
Yeah.
which is nuts, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because it's
I
awful.
it is awful, but I have fond memories of it, so I can't
Yeah.
hate on it too much.
Oh dear. Anyway.
Um, but what do they expect when they put out games like Sonic Boom, and like Alien Isolation, I've heard was great,
Mm.
but
But then, see, Sega didn't make those games.
no, they didn't. What do
That
they make today?
I don't know.
Yakuza, that's about it.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's probably even handled by some funny undertone, like developer somewhere under a different name, but technically it's Sega because they pay the bills. I don't know. I
Yeah,
mean, they own Atlas now,
right.
but I don't think Sega owns Atlas. I think Sammy owns Atlas,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
and Sega's got nothing to do with it. That's all. Sammy just needs to invest some money. What's a good, solid uh, Japanese developer we can buy? There's one.
Yeah,
Uh,
one of the few left, I tell you.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Sega restructuring for PC and mobile, which I tried. Crazy Taxi. What the hell's it called? Rush. I have no
On
idea.
mobile or something.
Yeah, the crazy. Yeah, it was so bad I didn't even bother to remember the name of it. Um, it's like an infinite runner, but crazy tax. Oh my god. I think there was a Sonic one just released as well. I haven't dared try it because I have my Sonic fix this year with Sonic Boom already. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Sega, unfortunately, looks like it's not going to be the company we are celebrating with this podcast.
Right.
Mm.
And I mean, we knew that going in, but this really confirms it. Like
It is
I
a
didn't.
shame. It is a shame because I mean I thought like new systems coming out. Right, let's have a new Sonic. You know,
Right.
let's start everything over again. Let's get some new IPs back, old IPs back. Sorry, refresh them up. Sega. I wanted a new Virtua Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, the last one was what, 5 back in the day? A few
Five.
years ago?
That's well over 5 years now.
Yeah.
6, 7 years. That doesn't look like that's going to happen. I wanted a new Monkey Ball. Can you imagine like a $15, $20, even a HD remake of Monkey Ball 1 and 2
Right.
for $20 on the PS4 or whatever the hell you want to play on? Can
Yeah.
you imagine that with achievements? Damn.
Well, I'm not a big mobile guy at all.
No,
I think it's not even really a device worth considering.
you're a
How
true gentleman, Dylan.
however, I do think Monkey Ball would work on devices like that, or
Yeah.
particularly the Wii U. Like it would work really well with the Wii U. Um, but that implies that Sega is interested in things like that. So
Well, another theory I've heard bandied about is Sega's actually really not even going to bother paying uh, teams such as the teams that made Sonic Boom and Alien Isolation anymore. They're not even going to keep them under a banner. What they're actually going to do is like just literally sell the rights to the IP off and not even be the publisher. So, in theory, you could get Nintendo making a Sonic game.
mm,
Now, I would like now just think about it, right, for a second. Nintendo has got had its critics lately, right? And yes, they haven't put enough games out. The games they have put out have been grade A quality.
oh yeah.
You give Nintendo 2 years to make a Sonic game. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that?
Well, what would be crazy too is if they got people that worked on some of the good Sonic games to come and
No,
help them. No?
no, don't do that.
Well,
Just
see,
give Sonic to Nintendo. That would be fine.
I just don't. Nintendo, I mean, their fast-paced games are Mario Kart 8
Mm,
and Smash Brothers. I
mm,
can't think of any others. Smash Brothers is not even developed directly by
no,
Nintendo.
no,
Mario Kart 8 is,
yeah.
but I just question. I mean, really, now that I think about it, they would do just as good of a job as anybody else. But I don't know. I don't know that they would want to. I don't. You know, it's weird. You would think that it would be great, right? Like with
Yeah,
Mega Man, like you'd think Nintendo would jump on
yeah,
Mega Man.
yeah. Why don't they just buy Mega Man?
I don't know. Capcom needs the money, certainly, and they're
See,
not doing anything with the
see, that's why I
character.
think
But
Nintendo needs to get rid of this Wii U. They need to spend some of that war chest. They need to buy all these old IPs and just bring them out. But saying that we say that we say yes, we buy that, and we would. And there's probably about a group of about 5 to 10 million people that, if they had enough money, they will buy all of these things. But
right,
unfortunately, that's not enough.
no, no, it's not.
No. So anyway, so Sega
Yeah,
restructuring, selling slash licensing old IPs off. I mean, we could see the return of some awesome stuff.
Streets of Rage. I'd like to see a new Streets of Rage.
Who would you get to make a new Streets of Rage?
Not Way Forward. Get them away from every one of my beloved childhood franchises. I
Yes,
can't. Ugh, they're
way
like the
forward.
most
That
overrated
F should be for
developer.
something else. They don't do. I'm 100%. I didn't know you felt that way about Way Forward. I thought I was the only person on earth.
I know. I thought I was too. Here's the thing. I'll
Oh,
play one of their original IPs like Shantae. That's fine.
mm.
But I don't know what it is with their
They
HD
did that Double
remakes.
Dragon thing, didn't they?
Yes, and it was bad.
Oh, that was
Really
so
bad.
bad. Oh,
Yes, really bad. And then obviously DuckTales was a travesty.
oh, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Anyway,
Yes.
let's talk about some other things.
Sega,
Sega.
hooray.
Hooray.
Well, I don't show off, don't criticize. I'm just living by my own feelings, and I won't give in, won't compromise. 'Cause I only have a steadfast heart of gold. I don't know why I can't leave, though it might be tough, but I ain't out of control, just living by my word. Don't ask me why, I don't need a reason. I got my way, my own way. It doesn't matter now what happens. I will never.
So let's talk about the Sega of old that we know and love, Dylan. Let's
Mhm.
talk about some of the games we've been playing and some of the games we might have purchased lately.
Oh, yes.
I went a bit crazy 2/10 days ago. Long story short, I saw on eBay a guy in my local town was selling every copy of the official Dreamcast magazine that we had over here. There was 21 episodes. Episodes 21 editions. Yeah,
Editions,
podcast mode.
yeah.
Yeah. And he had all the demo discs as well. Okay. So
What?
yes, and they were all mint condition. So I said, "Don't worry, man. I'll sort the deal out with him." Brought some cash around. I was going to go pick them up, save you on the postage. I mean, you only live like 10 miles away, so whatever.
Yeah.
So I go there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I found them in the attic, and I found a load of other stuff in there as well. I found a load of old N64 games and some Saturn games and some Dreamcast games." I was like, "Oh right, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have a look at them next time. Stick them on eBay." He goes, "Well, I've got them here," and he went under the table and he pulled out this tub, okay, right, and it has, I think it was 75 Dreamcast games,
Wow.
and none of them were duplicates, and they were all perfect. No, not one. And this is amazing if you collect PAL Dreamcast games. Not one broken case, which is like impossible to find.
Pretty flimsy,
Oh
I take
yeah,
it.
they are.
Yeah.
I will send you one day.
Okay.
And you'll go, "My God, these are cool," and then you'll try and open it and go, "My God, these are crap."
Yeah.
But anyway, so I felt 14 again, and my knees went weak, and I threw some money at him, and I got them all. And long story short, I didn't. I think I paid like it was about £3.50 a game in the end.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I got some. I mean, there was the obvious in there. There was some Crazy Taxis. There was some Sonic Adventure, but there was also Sonic Adventure 2, Crazy Taxi 2, Fighting Vipers 2.
Whoa. Whoa.
Fighting Vipers 2 is a very rare game.
Yeah.
There's some nut stuff. I should really go grab and find out, but that was just some crazy stuff in there. Bangayo, Giga Wing, just some absolute nut stuff. So yeah, so I got a load of them, and so then a few days go by, and he sends me a text message saying, "Oh, I found another box with some Saturn games in." Come and have a look. So I'm like, "Okay, I'll go have a look." So I thought he sold me a few games he had. He had Panzer One and Panzer Two. I'm like, I'll probably just buy those and that'll be it. Anyway, he had Panzer One, Panzer Two. Then he had Clockwork Knight 1 and 2. He had Duke Nukem 3D. He
Wow.
he had all these like pretty rare, hard to find games, and they were all perfect. So he had like 15, so I bought them all. Oh dear.
He's gonna keep finding tubs in his attic. Just you watch.
He mentioned he's gonna go looking for the Nintendo stuff. I was like, oh, don't
Don't do that.
don't do that because that will get expensive. But anyway, so I had a fun time. I want to do something with these games, either with the podcast or as a video or something. I need to find something. I'm going to try. I nearly had a complete Sega Dreamcast collection a few years ago, which was sold to fund a wedding, which kind of killed me, but kind of didn't because I didn't have the space at the time and it was a bit silly. I was never playing and they were just sat. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get the full collection back again. I probably won't get there, but I'll get most of the way there. But I want to do something with these games. So if anyone out there has an idea of a format that you'd like to see these games in, especially because they're PAL, because they're all slightly different in PAL, different cases, different box art, different stuff like that. If there's any sort of way people are interested and want to see this stuff, let us know, because we're trying to think of different ways to bring the stuff that we'll get to in 3 or 4 years' time in now, as we discussed before, in just little snippets and ways, just so we're not barking at the same old tree for months and months and months. So just any ways people want to see these games, videos, blog, whatever, just you tell me and I'll think of something.
Yep.
I got all these games to show and I can't play them all at once, so I might as well do something with them.
And I support your habits 100%. I wish
I've got to stop doing it. It's terrible.
I wish I could find some random person in Austin, but for how big this city is and how many kind of pretty cool retro game stores they have, I'm shocked at how like on Craigslist there's nothing.
Really?
There's nothing on Craigslist, and I haven't searched eBay specifically for Austin. Maybe there's some people here on eBay, but Craigslist, I was surprised when I lived in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a bigger city than Austin, but not by a whole lot. I found quite a bit of rare stuff there and for decent prices. So I just assumed that there would be that here, but I don't think there's a lot of classic gaming going on around here, at least not there on there. So
that's a shame.
Oh, yeah,
well, you're keeping it alive, my friend. I'm sure.
That's right.
So what have you been playing other than the obligatory Sega stuff?
That's pretty much it because I've been playing Phantasy Star, the first Phantasy Star.
Oh.
And that is a grind fest. So I've just been playing that and strangely enjoying it. I haven't played an old grindy RPG in a long time, and I think every so often it's fun to indulge in that. But once I'm done with it, I'll be fine. I'll be set for a while. But yeah, it's fun, and I can see why people freaked out about it back in the day. Those few Master System owners. I mean, it's pretty ambitious. Pretty ambitious. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll be there soon, and we encourage anyone that's along for the journey with us. And thanks to our friends at Radio Sega, spreading the word about the podcast around. There are hundreds of you now, verging on thousands that listen to this show, which isn't bad for 20 episodes. So if you want to get your nose in the door and say, I was there at the beginning, start now. Spread it around. So we thank everyone, especially at Radio Sega, for retweeting and helping us spread the word. And it really has helped. So thank you very much. Now, episode 19. Been reading a few comments lately saying, "Man, Sam, you really need to give these games more of a chance. You don't spend much time playing them, blah blah blah." Right now, listen. Right, this is Dylan's job. Okay, this is Dylan's gig. Okay, I'm along for the ride. Technical support, moral support. I cheer him up. I make him feel bad sometimes, but that's my job. Okay, I am like. There's always when you were younger. It must be the same in America. There was a kid, right? There wasn't really a friend. But somehow, every now and then, he'd get into your house with your other friends, right? And he'd go through your games and he'd go, "What's this? Oh, let's play it. Oh, no. Oh, no. What's this? What's this? What's this?" And he'd go through. That's me. Okay, that's me in this endeavor. I'm the guy that plays things for 5 seconds and goes, "Nah, that's crap." Or, "Nah, that's great." That's me. Okay. So anyone who thinks, "Oh, what's Sam's role? What's it?" I'm the annoying kid that comes around your house and flicks through your games. That's me.
Yep. It's true. If he
Yep.
if he lived here,
Asshole.
hey, just telling it like it is, man.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real.
I agree.
No, no, man. I mean, you know, we got to have two different viewpoints on here, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. You can't have a show like this. Like that's why it'd be boring if it was just me talking, or you know, that's why I'm interested to see what you think about one of the games we're going to feature later, because I have a feeling we're going to disagree. But anyway, yeah.
The feeling is strong, my friend.
The feeling is strong. Yeah, episode 19, lot of comments, and I just want to point out that Mr. Tony Wilkins made a made a fake box art for.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Yes.
That's great. Anyone who hasn't seen it needs to go to the episode 19 link and look at this. It's in the comments. There's a link in the comments, and it's pretty amazing based on all our ranting about how horrible Master System box art is. So
I think a little side note. I am actually like a sign maker. That's my profession. And in my game room, I have lots of posters and stuff. I think I'm going to print this out and stick it in one of my 8x4 frames.
nice.
And because it's really good. I was very impressed, Tony. Good job, my friend. It's very good. So
Yes.
if I do, I'll print 2 or 3. I'll send you one. I might even send Tony one for his good work. Why the hell he'd want it hanging up, I don't know.
Why not? To cherish always. Yes.
So thank you to Sean forever for commenting. We had a little discussion on there, a few of us, about Sega cases, game cases through the years, which kicked ass until the Saturn. When they kind of like preempted DVD style boxes but used glue, which didn't work.
Yeah.
It's the bane of a game collector's life is Saturn cases. I tell you, it is awful. So thanks to that, and that's pretty much the basis of the comments for episode 19. Now, before we start talking about our games today, I want to talk to you a little bit where you can help us at the Sega Does blog/podcast, and that is with your new, what was it, a Patreon campaign? Patreon,
yeah. New Patreon page. Yeah, because I wouldn't call it a campaign, because that makes me sound like I'm blazing a trail out in the streets
I'll be
or
honest
something.
with you, I'd never heard of this until you mentioned it to me a few months ago.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more popular, and even like I had this idea to do this about 6 months ago. About 6 months ago, last summer, and it's just blown up even in that small window of time. So
it's just the way you can support. So why don't you tell people at home about it and what
sure.
you can get and stuff like that.
Okay, so the Patreon, basically what it is I like to call it like a tip jar, a virtual tip jar. I think that's what they call it, but I thought that was just a really apt way of describing it. So if you go on supporting Sega Does, it's an option on the blog. It's in the main menu under the consoles. You'll go to an article and it'll link you to my page, and there basically I give a little blurb about, why, like what the money, what the money would be used for, that sort of thing. And you pledge whatever you want. It's $1, it's per month, so it'd be like $1 per month,
Mm.
$5 per month, 10, 20, and I leave it at 20 because this is going to be a thing that's going to be going on for a long time,
Mhm.
and $20 a month is to me a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot,
But
yeah.
but if somebody had that and wanted to do that, that'd be amazing. But I'm
Talk
not,
to you, Bill Gates.
yeah, exactly. Come on, Bill, help us out here. But you don't just pledge money and then I say thanks and take it and then run away with dollar sign bags or anything. It's
That would be
you're
pretty cool. I've always
yeah.
wanted to do that.
You'll get things for your support, and
Yes.
I list them in the Patreon, and I encourage you to go check it out. I don't want to describe everything here, but
Nah, there's some cool things like getting your choice of game topics and getting some custom artwork and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Just go check. I mean, even if you only want to pledge $1 a month for a few months, then go,
Right.
sod him. Who cares about him? Stupid quest review every Sega game. Who cares? Just get involved, try it out, get a game read out, get your name read out, get yourself mentioned. Even if you just want to like boost your Twitter followers, just say, hey, I'll give you $10. Mention my Twitter name. We don't care. Just
Yeah.
try it. I mean, we have some supporters already. We haven't even mentioned it, and we've already got some supporters, which is pretty cool.
right.
Sean,
Sean,
is that the Sean?
that's the Sean,
That is
and I
the
want to
Sean.
give him some virtual daps, a fist
Yeah.
bump. Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate it. Another gentleman by the name of Nathan Whalen, who sent me a very kind message and said he's been reading my stuff since the Nintendo blog. So
Oh, very nice.
I appreciate that.
Mm.
One thing I did want to mention real quick is why would we need a Patreon, right? Couple reasons. I'll embarrass Sam. One, I would like to supplement Sam's income and time. He spends time on this podcast. I would like him.
I spend hundreds of dollars a year keeping this podcast going for no reason. I don't know why.
So there's that. Also, once we hit the Saturn, my friends, it's going to be super slow unless I have some help. And at this point, I'm not making 6 figures a year yet. So
Yeah.
Anyway, so basically games and equipment. That won't be, for a while, but I'd like to start collecting now, because if I can do it now, it's not going to be an issue once it's time to delve deep into the Saturn.
Nice.
And then, of course, another reason is to make money, right? I mean, I just like Sam puts money and time into his stuff, I put money and time into these reviews, and
you would like it to be your full-time occupation.
It would be amazing.
And
yeah.
this is a way for you to try and achieve that goal. Even if you could, this is a way to supplement you so you could spend more time on this, create more of the things that people want, and basically make Sega does the best it could possibly be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good way to put it. Sum it up right there.
So
yes.
The address, and how can you find that again?
I'll just give you the link here, patreon.com/Dylan Cornelius, or you can go to the Sega Does site, and in the main menu bar, you'll see supporting Sega Does. Click on that. It'll take you to an article kind of explaining myself and give you the link as well.
Hooray.
Yes. Hooray indeed. Hooray indeed.
Hooray indeed. Right. Let's talk about some damn games.
That's right.
Okay. First up today, we have something I can't pronounce / Great Baseball.
Yes, pro Yakyuu pennant race. / Great Baseball.
Cool.
But Great Baseball is also acceptable.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right, Great Baseball. Actually, for once, not a bad stylized Western box art.
Yeah, not horrible.
No, you kind of know what it is.
Yeah,
Catcher's mitt and a ball.
you do know what it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, as you probably know, in this great old country of England, um, we don't play much baseball. And
And
the
I
only
understand
knowledge,
why. Yeah.
the only knowledge of baseball we really have is 90s kids nostalgia films that feature
The
baseball
Sandlot.
here and yeah.
Angels
Richie
in the
Rich.
outfield.
Just little
Yeah.
bits of baseball here and there. But yeah, basically we have a game over here called Rounders. Ever heard of that?
Rounders. No.
No, that's
I've
baseball.
heard of the movie starring Matt Damon. Yeah.
Matt Damon. No,
Matt Damon.
it wasn't that. No, we have a game over here called Rounders, which is not a professional sport at all. It's purely played in schools, but it's basically baseball.
Okay.
Okay,
Is
so
it
we know what it is. Just somebody needs to say, "I know baseball. That's Rounders," and that's it.
gotcha.
That's
So is it
exactly-
like dodgeball or Foursquare?
Yes,
Or
dodgeball,
it just
like dodgeball,
kind of stays in
just
the
kind of like
schoolyard.
stays in the school. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we know what it is. So I knew how to play the game, which is cool.
Nice.
Unlike ice hockey, where I have no idea what icing is, it's like, what do you do, making a cake? It's just what. So this is like baseball. I knew how to play. I was really impressed with this game.
Really?
Mm.
So like what exactly impressed you about it, if I may ask?
I could do everything.
So
And
it worked for you because
I think it worked for me because I don't have the greater like knowledge base of the game. I have the simpleton's view of baseball, and because this is a simple take on baseball, 'cause obviously it's a 8-bit baseball game.
right.
I think it fit my perception of the game pretty well,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
and it was enough for me. And I'm not saying it's like an A star or anything like that, but compared to some of the baseball games we've played already, it worked. It looked great. It ran cool. The crowd really impressed me, actually. I have a thing about crowds in games. Ever since being obsessed with WWF wrestling games, like, when is there going to be a 3D crowd? And it eventually happened. Yay. Yeah, I just was really impressed with the game. It was solid. The digitized voices was cool.
Digitized voice.
Digitized voices.
Yeah, at first I was like, "Ooh, these are a bit shrill," and then you just kind of get used to them.
Yeah, they're not bad, if I'm honest. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was too bad. It just all worked. I mean, what did you think? I haven't actually looked at your score.
I thought it was average. I thought it's not a bad game.
Mhm.
My main complaint with it was the angle that you have to bat, that where the camera's placed.
Mm-hmm.
The baseball games I enjoy the most are when the camera's behind the batter, not behind the pitcher.
Right.
And Bases Loaded on the Nintendo, that series had the same
I've
thing.
heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't like that. I can't tell where the ball is coming, and a lot of times it looks like I hit the ball, but then I get a strike and I
Right.
don't understand. I don't understand that. So,
Mhm.
I preferred the earlier Great Baseball that we reviewed on the
Really?
Mark III.
Wow.
Yeah, because I have a soft spot for Nintendo's baseball, and that's basically what that was.
Right.
Just better. So yeah, this one's okay. I do like, it graphically looks really good.
Yeah, it was just the details and everything.
Yeah,
In the players up at the plate, in the crowd, like the sponsorship signage. We've got Coca-Cola and there's some Sega in there somewhere, and it's very detailed.
yeah, yep. So yeah, it's not bad. It's yet another baseball game.
Yep.
We're gonna have so many sports games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing, I always think, because so early on 8-bit technology, they're not afraid to take on a very complicated game because baseball is a very complicated game. You've got lots of things moving, lots of instructions going on, inputs, different teams trying to do different things. It's not like a tennis game. No,
No, that's
it's
true.
even a soccer game is pretty simplified compared to what's going on in baseball. Um,
It's very true. Maybe that's why so many of them are so bad. So
yeah,
many baseball games, at least on the Nintendo.
yeah.
Boy,
Mm,
yeah.
okay. So that was good 5 minutes. Why can't every game be like this? So that's great baseball. Let's just see. Have we got any comments of note on this?
Let's see. Sean thought he said, "I just thought I would note that if you lived in Japan or the U.S., you wouldn't have been confused about great baseball. It's only confusing to internet game historians." He's referring to something I wrote in the review.
Right.
Um, I just, to me, it's just, I get what he's saying. It wouldn't have been confusing back in the day. I just don't know why Sega would do that. Like, why would they just use the same name, Great Baseball,
Yeah.
again and again? You know, the greats
Yeah.
again and again.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he has a point.
Yeah, because Sega were not fans of continuity.
That's very true. Yeah.
So to be fair, they've stuck with this for quite a bit already for a
Yeah.
Sega
Yeah.
property. Okay. So next we have one of your. I think this must be one of your favorite animals on planet Earth because you seem to love them. We have Penguin Land.
Penguin Land. Yes. Yes.
Oh dear.
You remember the first game in this, I'm
I
sure.
do, which got
Yeah.
number 7 or 8 in our top SG 1000.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Somewhere around
You
there.
really didn't want it there. I remember that.
No.
I understand. It's not for everybody. It's definitely an acquired taste, I guess.
Yes. As is that box art, which is
Which one? They're both. I don't know. I don't like either of them really this go around.
no, but I mean, what? What is that penguin standing on? On the, on the
Oh,
Western
looks like a
box art?
fossil or something, like some fossilized rock.
Very, very strange decisions. Sega. Come on. One interesting sticker of note, we should have a new column. Sticker of note is it says with battery backup RAM.
Ooh, yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I think that's the first. Is that the first game we played?
Sega game to have battery backup RAM. I do believe it is.
Wow.
That's pretty significant
Yeah.
because this was around the time. Let's think. When did Legends of Zelda actually come
Oh,
out?
this is around that time.
Well, that came out around
87.
this, yeah, because obviously it was a Famicom Disk System game back in Japan, so
Right.
so you didn't need the battery backup RAM. But obviously, when they ported it over to the States, you needed it because we didn't have the disk system, and so this technology is obviously around, and Sega are using it as well. It's just not very well documented at all. Because obviously everyone always goes on about, oh, Zelda, it was amazing. You could save the
Yeah, you
game
could
and
save your game.
It was quite amazing, I must admit.
You just throw a penguin egg at him, be like, "Hey, Penguin Land did it
Hey,
too,
Link,
jerk."
damn it. Should be crossed up your ass. Here's an egg. Right. So you can save the game. Now, I don't know why you'd want to save it, because I don't know why you'd want to play it. I can't I can't. This is going to be a running thing, because this isn't even the last Penguin game we're going to play, I'm sure.
There's more.
There's more. I don't get this style of puzzle platform. I don't get, Dylan. I'm sorry.
It's kind of Lode Runner-esque, but there's even more stuff to consider. You know, in Lode Runner, you avoid the guys and you collect the gold bags.
Yep.
And yeah, it's challenging, but the challenge lies kind of in manipulating your environment. That's really, and here it's the same thing somewhat, but for those who haven't heard the episode where we talked about Doki Doki Penguin Land, this is the sequel to that, just called Penguin Land, and
Yeah, but they're in space.
they are in space. I don't know. I don't get that either.
I don't get it.
But anyway, you're a penguin and you guide an egg down this like icy caverns. I don't know what they are, but and you're able to dig through the layers of brick, and you have to very gently guide your egg downwards. And the egg has a line, a white line that will appear, signifying whether it's okay to go down, to drop.
Yeah.
But if it's like, if the white line's hovering in the air, don't drop it down because it's just gonna splat down. So
What a shame.
there's in this one there's polar bears. The polar bears were jerks in the last game as well.
Yeah.
And then there's also falcons in this one.
How?
Or
Underground.
albatross.
How?
Excuse
I
me.
don't get it.
Yeah, it's the 80s, man. It's the 80s.
Stick a penguin on it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
it's a challenging, very challenging puzzle game.
That's
But
that's
if
the
you
one-
like that,
yeah,
there's a lot of content here. 50
there
levels.
is. Yeah, it goes. If you want to go with it, I felt it was very hard from the very beginning.
Yeah, it was. There was
Yeah.
not really a. I say by level 2 or 3, I was already like, whoa.
Yeah.
Sega's like pumping up the jams on this one. It's just, yeah, it's challenging for sure. It's more
Yeah.
challenging than the first game, but
Uh,
it is for a very specific type of gamer, and
I think so.
they don't make games like this very often anymore.
Well, they do.
At
They're
all.
called iPhone games.
Well, that's true. How would you even begin to play this on the iPhone?
I don't know. People try. They're stupid people. Anyway, only one comment on this, which I was kind of pleased about. From our good friend Tony, it says, Mission Commander Overbite. I love these Japanese titles. It's certainly better than Will Smith Cypher Rage in After Earth.
Mission Commander Overbite is the name of the penguin. The name of the penguin that you control.
Really?
Yeah, no joke.
Well, that passed me
So-
by.
So that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, that Will Smith film was bad. Of course, everyone's heard of Aztec Adventure: The Golden Road to Paradise.
Yeah,
Haven't
that's
you?
that's a great Japanese cover. That is a great.
It
that
is
is
brilliant.
so,
It looks that's proper like anime VHS cover. That is.
oh, it's so good. Yeah,
It's fantastic. And then, oh man, then we get the English, well, Western one, which is they they have a style for these clip arts, and then every so often they ditch it, and then go
Yeah.
for this like watercolor sort of thing, which is what they've done here, which is much better.
it is. It looks a lot better.
Mm.
Even though the art isn't great, it still looks better than
Yeah.
child scribbling on the Outrun box, like
Mhm.
we saw last episode.
Oh god, that was terrible.
Alex Kidd. That looks to me like an Alex Kidd on the.
You
I could be wrong. I mean, no, it doesn't look like Alex Kidd, but it looks like the
The
model.
artist, right?
Yeah.
Now this is a Zelda clone.
See, I read that too.
Mm.
I read that. And I disagree. And the reason I disagree is because Zelda 1 is totally, for the most part, non-linear.
Mhm.
This game is not non-linear in the least. It's like there's very little misdirection going on. You
Oh, yeah.
basically have just like one road you can go down.
The only road. The
Right.
green one.
Um
Oh dear.
plus you can throw bags of money at these
Yeah,
little bunnies, and they'll like be your helpers. That's amazing. That's way better than anything Zelda ever did.
yeah. So basically, it's like a top-down action adventure game sort of thing. There's not really any platforming to be had. It's like a Zelda 1 style top-down kind of thing. You got a sword. You got various items you can use. I'm assuming those big black balls are either bombs or cannonballs.
They're cannonballs.
They're
Yeah.
cannonballs, right?
Mhm.
So that's one thing I wanted to mention about this game was this item selection thing in the top. We got top right, was it? Yes, top right.
Yeah.
You got like these slots with different items. It shows you how many of the items you've got. Using one of the buttons, you can select through the items and use them. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I
I
really
agree.
thought that was good. There was no menus to be had, no stopping the game, no confusion of what you've got selected, how many's left, not going back, checking, all this kind of crap. That was really good.
And there's different special items for
Yeah,
each level, so it's not like you're missing anything ever.
no.
You whenever you destroy an enemy, they drop something. They
Mm,
drop an item that will
mm.
show up on that menu, which you're right. That's I didn't think about that, but that's so convenient.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful the way we're playing these games. You notice, well, I personally notice things like this. They stick out like a sore thumb. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't really got to menu systems yet
No.
at all. And already somebody's laid it out the way you want it. They haven't bothered with the Mega Man style, pause, go through, select, whatever. It's all
Yeah.
there. You know exactly what you've got all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not taking up stupid amounts of room, you know?
Well, too many items. It's like that was one thing as a kid that bothered me about Mega Man, which
Yeah.
sounds funny, but it's like after a while you had so many items. It's like I don't know which one's which.
Well, yeah, Mega
And
Man used to bother me because it used to have a letter next to it, like M and P. It's like,
right.
I can't remember what the hell that means.
Yeah, exactly.
This has got a nice icon and a number, and the icons are good, and they tell you exactly what they are, except for the question mark, which is it's there for a reason.
Right.
And it's got a little life bar. The life bar, some games, I don't know. Why did games back in the day make life bars so huge? You
Well,
know?
this game needed it. This game is challenging.
Yeah.
Uh but yeah, I mean, you're right. Like I mean, now life bars are kind of a weird concept, I think.
Yeah,
But
they kind of go for this slight minimalist hood kind of bollocks. Just give me a
yeah.
bar, please. It'd be nice. Um, but the thing that impressed me most about this wasn't necessarily the presentation, but it does look quite nice, actually. The animations aren't bad, the sprites aren't bad. It was the I don't want to say hood design because I think that's giving it a bit too much foresight. But you know what I mean? It's the systems and the non-gameplay information is shown to you very well.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Mm,
Um I wish the main character moved a bit quicker, but I know that's not
no.
what they're going for. Um, and his his short reach with his sword just
Ah,
reminded me of Zelda 2. I'm like, wow, this is. I mean, I know Zelda 2 is later, but that's what it reminded me of. I'm like,
mm,
oh, and yeah, I thought this was just a really interesting adventure game, like action adventure game,
yeah.
and I didn't think it was doing anything amazing, but I thought it was different, and I've never really played anything quite like it.
No.
It also felt very immersive, which I was surprised about.
You did feel part of a bigger world.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is kind of new in this sort of time zone. Everything felt connected, and unfortunately, it does the thing of you go off screen and you go back on screen, and everything you've killed has come back, which is a
yeah,
little bit annoying. Kind of takes you out of the immersion a little bit. But apart from that, it was trying to build something. It really was.
yeah, and uh, you know, I've never heard of this game.
Nope.
So I'm assuming it wasn't that popular, which is a shame because it's one of those that I wish was more popular, more of a cult hit.
Mm.
But yeah, what would you rate it? I gave it a B. What would you?
Um, I would say probably yeah. I don't know because unfortunately, I mean, for me, it does the graphics, the UI, and the sound better than the gameplay, which is a
Yeah.
little bit annoying. See, I rate C's more than you do, like in higher regard, so it's a bit hard. But on your rate, on the way you rate B's and C's, I think yeah, I'm with you on a B.
Yeah.
Um, we've got some comments here. Alex, how the hell do you say that?
Krasny?
Grasny. Uh, at
Krasny.
at Lex Grasny. Nice plug there, Alex. Good job. He says the graphic style looks very pleasant. I might have to give this a game a try. I would give this game a try, even if it's only for like 10 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's worth it.
yeah, it is. Sean says I actually got this game early on, brought it home, played it a bit, and took it back and got something else. Maybe I didn't really know what I was doing. I couldn't get past the first level, and there was another game I wanted. To this day, hang on, scroll down. I don't remember any other games I've took back to exchange before, so it sort of sticks out for me. I don't know if it was a bad game, I just know that at the time it didn't appeal to me. Maybe it would more now. Was it really that hard as I remember? I just felt lost and didn't know what to do and kept dying, so back to the store it went. Now, this is a good point. I've heard this story. It didn't really happen here, obviously, because we didn't really have NES, really. But I heard this story a lot about copies of Zelda 2.
Oh, yeah, I could see
Mm.
that.
The oh my god, what is this? This isn't what I remembered. Took it back story. Um, it's a common one back in the day, and back then stores would let you do that, which was nice.
Yeah.
Um, I can see that. I mean, I don't know how old you was, Sean, when this game came out. I assume you was like 8, 9, 10, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit older. You'll have to let us know. I don't know. I just think back if you got it. It depends when you got it. I mean, if you got it like 92, 93, I could kind of expect it. But if you got it like 87, 88 when it came out, I think personally you'd have been impressed with it.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but it really is just, you say that there's a game that you wanted more.
Yeah.
That's probably why. I mean,
Don't
it's
say
like
it was Outrun because I'll shoot you.
or Space Harrier. That's
Or
mine.
Space Arrow. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, Sean, definitely give it another shot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would. It's fun. Okay. Now next we have, in my opinion, the best sports game we've had so far. And that is great. Yes, another great. Great golf.
The best sports game, huh?
It's funny because in the box art, the guys completely missed the ball.
I know, isn't that awful?
That's so strange. Why would you do that? Why? Come on, answer me. Why would you? People, go to segadoes.com. Right? Go and look at the great golf review for the Master System. Look at the Western box art. There's a golf club which is nearly past mid swing, okay? And then it's quite clearly taken a chunk of grass, and the grass is flying forward where you'd expect the golf ball to be. But no, the golf ball is directly behind the face of the club. Explain it. I can't.
It's X-Files, man. It's Chinatown. Nobody can explain that. I want to know why you like this game.
I thought it was great.
No, but like, I don't know. I guess I really hated it. Maybe. Yeah, I think that's what I just hated it.
I just thought it just worked as a golf game. It was just the golf game that you want in 8-bit.
I thought it did okay up to a point, and I felt like I don't know. I just felt like I'm definitely comparing these sports games to Sega's previous versions with the
Right.
same name.
Yeah.
So there was a previous great golf, just like there was a
is.
previous great baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those games uh are better than the ones that came after.
You think?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The reason I don't like this version of Great Golf is because kind of like Great Baseball, you pick your clubs but you can't like when you go to hit it, you're never going to know how far it's going to go because unless you memorize how far the clubs and the wedges hit, you won't know. And the game doesn't tell you. And so you're left kind of guesstimating. And I
Yeah.
did not like that at all. And the other thing too is you cannot tell depth of the land on here at all. So if you're like I was on the I'd be on the green putting and sometimes I could putt it straight in and it would just go into the hole, boom, yay, on to the next round. And then other times it would curve and I'd look at the wind, I'm like, well, the wind is not going, so what's the problem? I'm like, I guarantee there's like an uphill incline, but
You
I can't
see
see that.
Mm.
And so that kind of crap just really started to irritate me and it started to pile up. And so I just was like, no, this game sucks.
Well, I actually do play a little bit of golf. So
Oh, okay. So you can what you're
I've
saying
probably got
is
the patience for
you can tell when these
Oh yeah, I'm a pro, yeah.
you got the
That's
patience
that's
for it.
me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I wish it would have been better. Because I like video game golf quite a bit.
Yeah.
But
I'm better at video game golf than I am real golf.
yeah.
Mm.
I imagine
Most
it's
people
easy.
are.
I was gonna say, I imagine it's easier.
Yeah. Hey, so I mean, there's not a lot to say about it. I like the fact that it tried to do the 3D perspective, and I know back then, like where it's a bit technical, but where the ball lands to be able to then like pseudo not fake, but put the camera where the ball landed and look at the tee was quite impressive.
It definitely took a chunk on the hardware too,
Yeah.
as it had to load.
Yeah, that's
Like-
that's what I mean. I think personally, I like games. I really like games, even if they're crap, that push hardware. I love seeing like end of era PS2 games absolutely rag the crap out of that thing. I really love seeing like just what can this look. I mean that's why the reason I collect. Like, I like playing my games original in the hardware. So I love to think of this little box just absolutely caning itself trying to deal with this thing. I love it, and it just makes it all seem so much more impressive. And
I can
think,
get behind that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean I can remember playing PGA Tour golf on a Amstrad laptop, which weighed more than my mother, and it took like 5 minutes to load, and it was in black and white, and it was a flat screen monitor, but it was about 3 inches across, but it was just so impressive that this thing was doing it, and it was like, yeah, it can do it, and it's just, I love seeing things stretched, and the fact that this game could do this, it could render the camera angle wherever the ball landed, was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's nice that you're looking at the games from that technical aspect because I wouldn't, you know. So it's good. No, it's good to have that viewpoint on here cuz it makes me appreciate it even though I still don't like the game,
It was
but
even for a golf game, this was slow.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever made, but I enjoyed this more than any of the other, like the great or champion games so far.
Oof. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of the great what have yous, the great sports series has been way better than the champion. Yeah, for sure.
I love Kurt's comment. This just ages us perfectly.
Yeah.
So it may be great, but it's no Lee Carvello's pudding challenge. Hi, I'm Lee Carvello. Welcome to Lee Carvello's pudding challenge. You are in the parking lot. Do you want
Would
to
you
play? What's it called? Do you want to play again? You have
Yeah.
selected no.
No. Yep.
Welcome to Lee Carvello's Putting Challenge. I am Carvello. Now choose a club. You have chosen a 3-wood. May I suggest a putter? 3-wood. Now enter the force of your swing. I suggest feathered touch. You have entered power drive. Now push 7, 8, 7 to swing. Ball is in. Parking lot. Would you like to play again? You have selected no.
Ah, what an
That's
episode!
Classic. Yeah. Classic.
That was proper Simpsons. That made you like when he like betrayed Marge. You felt so bad.
I know. Yeah.
Every 10-year-old kid has felt like that.
Oh yeah. Felt like
Oh.
crap. Yeah.
Felt like crap because you'd done. Like your mother had said, "Don't do that. Don't do it because you'll spill it, or don't do it because it'll do this." And then she was right, and you was like, "Oh, my mum told me to do that," and she's so disappointed in me. Every kid from that era has watched that and knew exactly what Bart was going through.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And we've always, all of us have all tried to make it back up to her in some sort of way. Like, don't worry, Mum, I'll wash that off. Or like just something, and it's brilliant.
Yeah. That was a classic.
I love old Simpsons.
No doubt.
Fantasy Zone 2, The Tears of Opa-Opa.
Yeah. Love that subtitle. It's so ridiculous.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just so Japanese. I love it. Yeah.
This is the greatest contrast of box arts we've had. Because
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll admit the Japanese box art is a nice, colourful, some could say beautiful piece of art.
Right.
The Western one looks like what you pissed about in Microsoft Paint in the computer labs at school.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. And
Really, really bad. And you can't say they didn't know what the game was about because they did. They've already been a Fantasy Zone before. So you know what the story is.
that would be kind of amazing though. Think about this. All right, I'm gonna go on a rant.
Here we go.
What if you gave, now nobody would do this now because too much money's involved, but what if like back in the day Sega was just like handed their games to two artists that were just like, look, it's kind of about this and here's an image and just make it up. Just make it up.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I think I have a feeling that's what happened here.
Yeah.
But if it didn't happen here, that's what I like to think happened here because it means that they shouldn't be to blame, you know.
That is one of those things we will never, ever know.
Unless the artists come out and like,
They don't care.
You
They
know,
probably can't remember they did it.
true, yeah, it might just be a job
They
to
probably
them.
didn't even know what they was doing it for. They wouldn't surprise me at all. Anyway, now I've gone on record as saying I don't like Fantasy Zone.
Sam's favorite series.
I don't get it, Dylan. I don't get Fantasy Zone.
You like your shoot 'em ups in space and going one
Yeah,
direction only.
there's a flipping reason it works in space.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't
I
throw up every time you look at the screen either.
I love. Okay, the first game, I understand. I understand the reason why people wouldn't. I had such a weird, lots of weird emotions about that game. It's like I was going through puberty again. Just like so many mixed feelings. Uh, Fantasy Zone 2 is amazing.
What?
It's such a refined version
If you
of.
gave this what I think you gave it, I'm going, oh dear. I will get onto that. Carry on.
Well,
Refined version. Go on.
it's a refined version of the first game, and it's so much better looking. Like the first game looks like they were trying to. It's kind of like with Space Harrier and all these early Master System games from like '86.
It was the port job, wasn't?
Right.
Yeah.
It was lacking to say the least, and it was very the space felt very confined once you flew in.
Yeah.
There's not that issue here.
Really?
Yeah, really. You have more space to fly around. It's I don't know. It's great. Uh, for I'm gonna keep ranting here,
Go.
but let me explain Fantasy Zone.
No.
Fantasy Zone is a shooter, not a traditional shooter.
No.
You destroy these bases, and these bases are usually weird little creatures with faces, and they spew out things from their top or their bottom, and you have to destroy them, and then you move on to the boss. Well, that was Fantasy Zone 1. Fantasy Zone 2, same type of deal, except now there's warps, and warps take you to different sections in the same level, and there's more bases, and there are shops that you can go into and upgrade your weapons and your shields and your speed and all that fun stuff. And it is a acid trip backgrounds. It's amazing. It's great. I love it. Fantasy Zone 2 is exactly what the first one should have been, but that's okay because at least there was this one to right the wrongs.
Was this like its own thing? There wasn't a Fantasy Zone 2 in the arcades or anything, was it?
I believe there was actually.
Right.
I don't know if it was as popular as the first game.
Okay. I honestly think it's more to do. I know this is very shallow and stupid, but it's more to do with the way it looks than the way it plays.
No, I mean, but that makes sense given how you look at games, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I don't like. I'm not. I think Yoshi's Island is the best looking video game ever made.
Yeah.
So it's not that I'm the dude bro dark gritty. Like, I prefer Wind Waker over like style over Ocarina of Time. If every single Zelda game from now until the end of time was made with Toon Link, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not the guy, okay, that wants everything dark, full of blood, and things like that. Okay, I like colourful games more than not colourful games.
Right.
I don't like this at all, and the fucking sound drives my head insane. It sounds awful. I'm sorry, you can't give it props for the sound.
Well,
the incessant bleeping and blopping and
see, it's funny that you mentioned the sound because I can't remember what the sound even is.
You're lucky.
I don't even remember like the soundtrack. I don't think it's that.
No, the soundtrack is like 5-second loops. Which is
That's right.
Well, probably why you don't remember it. But it's. I don't like the. I'm trying to think if it's the sense of scale or the way the camera, because you can go back and forth, which should be really interesting, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't. It just rubs me the wrong way. This game. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a bad game because I know I'm wrong, and I know I'm in the minority.
I
And
actually don't think you're in the minority. I
I,
just want to say that. I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people. I think it's very much a you like it or you don't type of
right.
game. And because you're right, it isn't traditional.
No.
I think it you know what it feels like? It feels like it was designed to piss off people who were super hardcore about shoot 'em ups. I know it wasn't
Yeah.
a big genre then,
No.
but like it is, or like it kind of sort of became in the
It
90s.
had like 2 years where it was king, and then
Right.
dropped off a cliff when fighting games come out. Basically.
Yeah. um, but that's what it feels like. It feels like somebody who hated traditional shooters wanted to make a shooter just to piss
I mean, I
people
will
off.
say the graphics walk all over anything the NES ever put out.
It's absolutely
Period.
incredible
I
graphics.
mean, the
Yeah.
color and the animation, and it is very impressive. I'm not going to say it's amazing because it's like a personal taste thing, but it's technically. I mean, I like games, like I said earlier, that push consoles. This pushes a mass system. I mean, the palette that's going on here is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is only 87, which
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
It's nuts. I really wish like Capcom and Konami and all those guys took to the Master System more. Because could you imagine like a Castlevania on this thing, like back in the day? I mean,
Yeah,
it'd
would
be,
have been
uh,
incredible.
it would have been incredible, and it would have looked and sounded and probably played better as well because the way it could have handled. But for some reason they were just all in love with the Famicom. I mean, obviously that's where the money was because that's just where what most people had, unfortunately.
Yep.
But
Yep.
it looks incredible. I'll give it that. The sound, in my opinion, is awful, and I don't like the shops. I don't like shops in games. I like, I quite like skill trees because it's you're working your way through a game, and as you progress through the game, you are rewarded with things that you. It's like you're learning. It's like life. You know,
Right.
you learn things as you go. When I've got a load of money and I walk into a shop and there's 6 different things to buy, I know I don't need all of those, but I know I will need some of those, but I don't
Yeah.
know which ones, and that puts a stress on my brain I don't want when I'm trying to enjoy a game.
Yeah.
What a stupid thing to say, I know. But for a 8-bit side-scrolling shooter, I think that's a little bit too much. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I think you're asking a lot. I
Yeah.
think what you're describing sounds more like early RPG syndrome, where you would go into a shop
Oh,
and you would just be like, "Oh, cool! Hey, there's all these
there's 50
pieces of
things to
armor and and oh, they're not telling me which
No.
ones for each person, so I'm just gonna have to guess."
Mm.
And now, thankfully, the internet doesn't make that as much of an issue. But boy, when you were a kid, that really sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also didn't think the shooting sounded very good. Sounded very good, felt very good, and a lot of enemies took more than like 7 or 8 shots to kill, which
Yeah, well, that's where the upgrades come in. See,
yeah, we see
that's the issue.
that's the vicious circle. You see, if you can't be asked to play it, it won't get any better. So
Right,
it's
right.
it's not going to work. But yeah, I mean, I get it. It's like what's that stupid pretentious game that we always agree on? The Last of Us. That's the one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I don't personally like The Last of Us, but I get why people enjoy it. It's because they put a little in and get a lot out.
Right.
This isn't like that, but I do get why people like it. I do get why you like it. I do, but it's just not for me. And I
Yeah.
don't think I'm alone.
No, you're not. You're gonna. We'll see some comments where people are like, "Oh, I hate fantasy." I know Sean isn't even that big on it. I don't think
See,
he's.
no.
I don't think he's a hater,
No,
but I don't think he likes it that
I'm
much.
not a hater. I'm more of a. I'll leave that on my plate. Not bother.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah.
Sean says, I've never played this, but I will surely be picking it up on 3DS in a few months when they release the 3D Classics version, the original Fantasy Zone as well. I didn't know they were doing that. That sounds cool.
I didn't either.
That's really going to hurt your eyes, that much color in 3D.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah. 3D already hurts my eyes on the 3DS. Yeah. Some guy named the Pixel Dude said, "Let the games begin." Comments.
That was purely I was like, oh, what has he reviewed today? And it was this. And I just thought, I've got to write something. I didn't played it. I hadn't even done anything. I just typed it in.
That's great.
So yeah, I mean, did you beat it?
No. This game, okay. So I don't know what if I was in the zone, the fantasy zone, or what,
again.
but I made it to level 5 like without any issues. I was like, what? Like, have I entered some sort of nirvana, playing this game? But boy, once level 5 hit, it was like Sega's just was saying, just kidding, and then like let out their biggest guns. It was so hard from then on. I think I got to level 6, and there's 8 in the game. And I couldn't do any more than that. 6 was enough. So, yeah, it was really, really tough. I do not recommend anyone playing this without save states. Yeah.
That was a feature on the Master System. Was it the 4th revision? I think.
Yeah. Only in Brazil, naturally.
Yeah, the Brazilian special edition with Sonic on the front does save states when you press his nose.
No, you will be able to use save states, as far as I know, when this comes out on the 3DS.
Yeah.
So I think they have that. I'm not sure, but
I hate their system for doing that though. It takes forever.
Yeah, I haven't really messed with it that much because I don't play the 3DS.
Virtual console save state thing. It takes like 15 seconds to.
Man,
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's crap. It's really bad. Anyway, so Fantasy Zone, you gave it. Clears his throat. An A-.
I did.
That is a high score.
Yeah, well, I really enjoyed it. I've given like 3 or 4 A's since this thing started. I haven't given that many.
3, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they were. Oh dear. Pitfall.
Doki Doki Panic. Or no, Doki Doki Penguin Land. They're all the same.
Yeah. Pitfall 2, didn't I get an A-?
That did, yeah.
And what was it?
SG games so far.
The guy.
A-.
What was it? The Castle, was it?
Oh, the Castle was great. I love that game. Yeah. Yeah. More SG games. I haven't played too many Master System games yet that I've just been like, this is amazing. The SG ones surprised me, but I have a feeling as the Master System goes on, I'll find some more. Yeah.
They just need a few more years to copy Nintendo and they'll be fine.
That's where my true loyalties lie.
Yeah. Oh dear. I'm trying to convert you.
Yeah, I don't
know why I'm taking this stance, because I'm not a Sega guy at all. I'm a Dreamcast guy, yeah. But anything else is like, whatever, load of crap. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Well, as much as I grew up with the Nintendo and played a ton of Nintendo games that I love, the NES just had so many bad games, and I think the Master System has more average to mediocre games, ones that aren't, or like B tier. They're not amazing, but they're not horrible. And
you don't get the highs of like a Mega Man or a Castlevania or a Zelda, but you don't get the lows of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. You don't get that. You get this kind of level playing field middle, which is odd, really.
It is, because I'm used to that style more, more of like, and really, if you look at some of the greatest consoles or consoles that we consider great, PS1, PS2, the ratio of good games to crap. I mean, PS2 has a ton of great games, but it also has like 1,400 games, and like maybe 200 to 300 of those are really good, and the rest are terrible.
Just yeah.
So it's like,
I
yeah,
think I'd rather have it that way though. Unfortunately, it's a shame, but
you'd rather have more content and less good stuff,
I'd rather
kind
have
of
the
thing.
few highs because I mean, games are a luxury. You can pick what you want, so
Right.
you pick the best. And if your pool hasn't got the best to pick from, then it's kind of a bummer. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
I kind of like, as somebody who doesn't beat games as quickly as a lot of gamers, I do like how the Nintendo does the Wii U. Even though I understand why a lot of people don't like that, but to me, it's like I'm still on Hyrule Warriors. You guys threw a ton of
you know,
content into that
that is a
game.
very interesting point, right? There's a game that's come out like last 2, 3 days. I don't know. It's called Dying Light. It's like a zombie.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I can't stand those first person zombie games. Zombie games in general piss me off anyway. But anyway,
Yeah.
right. I was literally listening to a few podcasts. There's some reviewers, and they were reviewing the game and critiquing it like they always do. Blah blah blah. And they were going. I think he played it for like a day and a night. And I won't say who it was, but it was a very reputable site. And
Okay.
he said, yeah, there's a few cool game mechanics in there and a few good ideas, and I can't wait to see what they do for a sequel. I'll play that when it comes out. I was like, dude, you played this game for like a total of 2 days.
Yeah.
How the hell do you get through games so fast? You know,
Yeah.
he's already written it off, put it under a bus, and gone, right, I'll play the sequel when it comes out. It's like, dude, you're not playing games. Like, no wonder like they say like a game like a professional game reviewer's job is like the worst job in the world if you have to play games like that. It must.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, personally, I think the trading culture is a part of the reason why people don't play games properly now. Because
Oh, for sure.
they
Yeah.
feel they have to play it quick and get it back, otherwise their purchase is devalued by 10-20%. It's terrible. But I mean, I can remember getting a game like before the whole trading culture started. Not that I trade in games now because I don't, but back in the 90s, I would say all the way through the 90s, even up to the end of the PlayStation era, people didn't trade in games. You bought a game and you stuck with it.
No, that's true.
You know,
For better and for worse.
For better and for worse. I mean, I can remember buying games like, God, like Lego Rock Raiders.
Ooh, what was that for? Game
PlayStation,
Boy?
PS1.
PS1. Okay.
It's
Yeah. Wow.
I personally quite liked it, but it got like 6s and 5s, and
Yeah.
but that's just it. You just took the rough with the smooth. I mean, I got God, now I'm trying to think. There's a game called Wild 9.
Oh,
It
yeah.
it was like the third or fourth game to be DualShock supported. I bought it on the strength that, it's DualShock compatible, and I just got one for Christmas, and
Yeah.
it was terrible. But I spent 40 quid on it, and I couldn't take it. Well, I could have took it back, but you just didn't. You just stuck
Yeah.
with it, and it was a terrible game, and I played it for weeks, over and over and over. I mean, I'm sure you've got similar stories of just.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like Driver 3.
Oh, Driver 3.
I mean,
Yeah. What a disappointment that was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
So
the trade-in culture really started towards the end of the. I mean, it's always been around to some degree, but
end of PS2. I mean,
into PS2. Yeah.
really is the Xbox 360, PS3 like the. I mean, I know games were annualized before that, but it kind of came like the only way the big companies are only going to make any money out of it is if they annualize these games and they sell the same amount every year.
Yep.
So it became the norm to chop games in pretty fast. It's just,
Yeah.
I think also what didn't help is like the online thing. It's like you don't want to play that old game anymore because the online's better or different in this new one.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the obvious example is Call of Duty. It's like you don't want to be playing last year's Call of Duty because no one's playing it.
Yeah. Except on the Wii U.
Except on the Wii U. But that's 2 years old now.
That's true. Yeah.
Poor thing. Damn it. Anyway, that's our old man rant.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gotta have one every so often.
So Sega does. Hooray. So thank you. This is episode 20. We got to 20. That's quite amazing.
Yes.
So you can follow you where, Dylan?
You can follow me on Twitter at @TheDylanThe, or on Google Plus. It's the best kept secret social network ever, but I'm not going to tell you why because then it wouldn't be a secret. I'll tell you, Sam, after the podcast. Yeah, you follow me on Google Plus.
Hooray for me.
Yeah. And then on Facebook, I really want to destroy my Facebook page because Facebook is terrible.
Facebook sucks.
Nope.
Ass, man.
Nobody pays attention to anything on Facebook except for mindless nonsense, which is so much better than the rest of the internet. So anyway, that's where you can find me. Where can they find you, sir?
At home. Surrounded by Dreamcast games.
Just swimming in it,
Oh,
making it rain
sea of blue
Dreamcast games.
swirls is great. You can follow me at @thepixel_dude. If you want to see some pictures of rusty arcade machines, that's where to look. But also, we want people to checking out your Patreon, don't we? Chipping a few bucks, go on, just do it. It'll help us out. And
Yeah. I encourage it because I really want to see this site move past. I mean, here's the thing. It's got a couple more years in it, right?
oh yeah,
You know, at least. But I am very stoked to explore the Saturn, and there's no way that's going to happen on my measly income. So, if for no other reason than for the future of the site and for Sam, because he puts in the
oh
hours.
don't worry about me. You gotta
drinking
think to
tons of
yourself.
coffee.
I mean, at the minute you search for Sega Does, we are top of the list. Okay, so you search in Sega reviews, I think we're somewhere in the first page. So if you, in a few years' time, if you could say right now, okay, when Wikipedia started, I helped that happen. Right? If you could say that, that's a pretty cool thing to be able to say. Now, if you could say that Sega site that's got every review of every Sega game ever made, the main resource for Sega content on the internet, I was there at the beginning and I chipped the book in and I had made that happen. That's pretty cool. And that, I'll be honest with you, is the reason I'm doing this. Okay, I will do it for free for as many years as it takes. I'm doing this to be able to say, I talked about every Sega game ever released. And that's pretty nuts being able to say that.
It is pretty nuts.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you can say, yeah, I helped with that, that's pretty cool. And what's it cost? $1? I mean, God, I'd find a $1 on the floor, all right, every week. No problem. Okay? So you just think about that next time you're having your Big Mac and fries, you're going, you know what? This could have helped Dylan review another Saturn game. And you feel bad, because you should. With your freaking fries and your milkshake.
But we love you, so
we love
you
you.
know.
So comment and spread it around. iTunes reviews, keep them coming. It all helps. Spread it around. Just do what you can. And listen to Radio Sega as well. Because
Yeah.
I've had that. Just have it on in the background because it gets you pumped, man. Sega music is just like, oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Just like, if you're feeling bad, just listen to some Radio Sega. It'll sort you out. Follow them on Twitter at Radio Sega. I think it's just Radio Sega. I think it's .net.org. Something. It's a real nice site. You'll know it when you find it. You can find it on all the internet radio apps, all that crap. There's just it's everywhere. It's great. So Radio Sega, Sega does. Keep it Sega, Dylan. Sega.
Hey, Sega.